Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of How to Suck Less at Ultra Street Fighter 4. And today we're covering Dan and focus attacks. Okay, so Dan, we covered this briefly in the basics video, but you can do taunts by pressing both hard buttons, the hard punch and the hard kick. And so you're going to want to do this when you feel like being a turd. If you hold down and press those two same buttons, he's going to do a crouching taunt, and you're going to do that when you're crouching and feel like being a turd. And then he's got one in the air. So when you're in the air, press those two same buttons, and he will do a taunt in the air for when you are in the air mid-jump and feel like being a turd. He also has a super taunt, so that's double quarter circle forward, and both of those hard punches, hard punch and hard kick again. And this is for when you have a full super meter and feel like being a turd. All right, focus attacks. So we covered this in the basics video, but focus attacks are done with both medium punch and medium kick, and you hold them down and charge up the attack, and you release it to let it go. And if you hit them with the charged one, they will crumble. You can also counter attack with this. So when an attack is coming, it will absorb one attack, and then you release the button after that attack hits you, and you will stun them on the counter attack. There's three things to mention about these things. The first one is just sort of a minor point most of the time, and that there's a sort of a better version of this you can do by pressing both those medium buttons and also by pressing the light punch button at the same time, and it'll be red. Notice that Dan kind of flashes red, and that can absorb any number of attacks, not just one. So if you're seeing a multi-hit attack incoming, perfect time to use it. It uses a couple of your super bars down there. The other two things go together, and we're going to talk about here, and they're very important for gameplay in Ultra Street Fighter 4. The first thing is that this attack can be cancelled. You can dash by double pressing left or right while you're in the middle of it, and he will cancel the attack and do a dash. Right? You can do that before the attack is thrown, and you can do it after it hits. You cannot do it, though, if it misses. So just be aware of that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hop into training mode, and you're going to want to practice this, right? So just take any character, your favorite character, and just very quickly pressing those buttons and then double tapping a direction, right? You're going to want to practice doing this basically so you get up as quick as you can. So you can barely even tell that you're doing the focus attack motion, right? This is going to be quite important, right? Because we're going to use this in a second. But the other thing to note, this last thing, is that focus attacks can be used to cancel moves, special moves, regular moves, and not supers or ultras. So, for instance, Dan has his fireball, right? It's got a recovery on it, the recovery animation. But I can totally cancel that recovery animation by quickly pressing both those mediums as soon as I start doing this move. All right, so that's the normal move. That, right? So he stops doing his normal recovery and he goes into that, right? Okay, so practice doing that too. Most moves will work. Dan can even do it with his dragon punch, right? So normally his dragon punch looks like that, but instead of doing it this way, we'll just press those two buttons right after. And the guy pops up. Oop, missed it there, but you can also cancel normals like we did right there. So we're going to put these two things together. We're going to put this together, the canceling by dashing, together with canceling a move. So we're going to do a fireball. And as soon as we do the fireball, we're going to do the double press and the double tap to dash. And he cancels the fireball and stays on the opponent, right? So you can do all kinds of things like that, but practice that for a while first, because when you can do that reliably, you can do all kinds of things, like comboing a fireball into a dragon punch. Right? Registers as a 2-hit combo. You know, fireball. Right? Other characters are going to have other ways of doing this. Some people are going to be using dragon punch type things to knock guys up and then comboing afterwards. Right? Dan can do this too. Oh, missed that one. In this case, into his Ultra. Right? Which lets you start an Ultra with a meter or two, a bar or two of your super meter, and then landing an Ultra off of most any hit. So it's a really powerful way of extending combos or landing your Ultras in Street Fighter 4. And so there you go. There's Dan and focus canceling. Thanks again.